It's the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony, brought to you in part by the Kansas Star Casino, Hotel, and Event Center. Joining a distinguished group of 284 Hall of Fame members, we will see the induction of 13 of Kansas's finest athletes and coaches to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. And now, coming to you from the Kansas Star Casino, it's the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Good evening and welcome to the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Brian Haney. I'm the voice of the Jayhawks. Thrilled to be your MC here tonight. We will walk you through an evening of 13 inductees and several other special presenters along the way as well. It's going to be an absolute blast and a ton of fun. So thank you guys for being here to celebrate our state's great tradition. Do I have any Jayhawks in the room? I know this table in particular. Yeah. Rock chalk, baby. Absolutely. We're going to give the Wildcats and Shockers some love too, don't worry. But those that are Jayhawks know that at the end of every basketball season, I've taken a page out of my mentor's book, Bob Davis, and we always finish the year with a little bit of a rhyme scheme to kind of look back on the year. And I thought rather than finish tonight, I would kick off the night with a few rhymes. But keep in mind, I'm no DJ Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, or even a Robert Frost, so bear with me, all right? Almost said Snoop. Tonight is the night. 13 go in the hall. Stars of soccer, swimming, and all kinds of ball. We've got Jayhawks, Wildcats, Shockers, and Bods. All-Americans, first-rounders, all who beat odds. Some of our state's greatest coaches and most clutch players. You'll hear from legends and icons, and yes, even the mayor. We've got aces that pitched all the way to the bigs and double-double machines that landed NBA gigs, like KU's second best scorer and a Bruin who played a perfect season. Still not impressed? I could give you a dozen more reasons. Just look all around at the legends gathered here to celebrate our state's tradition on the best night of the year. So sit back, relax as the rest of us get in the game. It's the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. All right, you guys. I didn't even have to dance or get dancers. It was good stuff. How about that? Well, hey, I'm so jazzed to be here tonight. I'm really fired up. When I got the phone call to be the MC and I took a look at the 13 inductees, as you can imagine, a little bit starstruck. And you probably think that's because of KU's number 2 all-time scorer, Nick Collison, who I referenced earlier. And yeah, he's a big deal. Go ahead, give it up for Nick. Yeah, that was certainly part of my excitement, not just because he's one of the all-time greatest Jayhawks ever to don the crimson and blue, but he was also a classmate of mine and a friend of mine back in school. We were about the same age, and he was actually the first KU legend I ever got to interview on air. And I know you folks, unless you're sitting in the front row, can't see this picture, but maybe those on TV can. Nick did radio with me on KJHK, the student station back in the day, and if you look really closely, he's giving that same dumbfounded, what did you just say, look that Greg Goehring gives me on a nightly basis. But he was terrific, and he was always so gracious with his time. And so, yes, I was really pumped when I found out that he was one of the 13 legends going in. But the name that had me most excited as a Topecan and as in radio, a guy that never really reached the pinnacle of sports greatness when it comes to my own athletic career, Bob Chipman was a hero for me as a kid. And Bob Chipman, yeah, give it up for Bob. You see, let me tell you something. In sports and sports broadcasting, you have two kinds of announcers. You have has-beens and never-wases. I referenced Greg Goehring, my other broadcast partner, David Lawrence. These guys are has-beens in the sense that they've been there, they've done that, they've fought the fight, won the wars, played in the big games. And then you have the guys like me, the play-by-play guy, who's usually a never-waser. I never made it to the big time. But Bob Chipman, for one night, one day, back in 1991, made me feel like I was big time. You see, if you go in Nick Collison's house, he probably has like a mantle with his 2003 National Player of the Year trophy that the NABC gave him. I'm sure Scott Hastings has a spotlight on his Detroit Pistons NBA championship ring. But if you come in the Haney household, you see a framed copy of the greatest athletic achievement anyone ever gave me. co-MVP of the 1991 Bob Chipman basketball camp. How about that? Age 10 to 12-year-old division. I wasn't even like the real MVP, I was co-MVP. I don't remember the kid's other name. He probably went on to far greater things than I ever did. But I was co-MVP back in 1991. And if you grew up in Topeka, and I know we got some Topekans in the house tonight, Coach Chipman was the biggest of big deals. And this meant the world to me. And so even though I plateaued, I peaked in 91, Coach Chip, I still got it to this day. And it's a big treat to get to introduce you here tonight. So yes, for all these reasons, those two guys and the 11 others that we'll be honoring, this is a star-studded class of 13 big-time names, players and coaches to get through tonight. So without any further ado, we're going to hop right in. Our first of 13 Hall of Fame inductees was born in Kentucky. She graduated high school in Oklahoma. She was a two-time NCAA swimming national champion at the University of Kansas, winning in '83 in the 50-meter free and the 100-meter free also in 1983. She was a 17-time All-American selection. First Jayhawk to earn All-American honors for 4 consecutive years. Think about that. The model of consistency and excellence. 12, count them, 12 Big 8 conference titles. She was the 1983 Co-Big 8 Athlete of the Year. And see, it's okay to be a co-athlete, right? She was also somebody who set records for KU in the 100 free, 50 free, and many other events as well. She went on to compete in the U.S. Nationals, the World University Games, and the World Games. And then she went into the KU Hall of Fame as well in our Booth Hall of Athletics. Basically, she was Michael Phelps before Michael Phelps even existed. Greatest swimmer to ever swim at KU. Give it up for our first Hall of Fame inductee tonight, Tammy Thomas Ammons.
Good evening. When I tried to figure out what I was going to say tonight, the first and main thing that came to my mind was gratitude. Gratitude to so many people that helped me along the way, in one way or another, positive and negative. The list of people to thank is very long, and there's no way to mention them all. I would like to start with the election committee for the Sports Hall of Fame. I thank you and am humbled to be included in such an illustrious group of individuals. To the University of Kansas and the outstanding coaching staff, thank you. Gary Kemp and his team saw potential in a raw and untrained high school swimmer and provided me with the opportunity to pursue and achieve my goals. Even to those that doubted that I could do it, you made me stronger and gave me the motivation to make myself better. Some of the people that helped me I never even met. Parents that volunteered their time as meet directors, timers, and judges, teachers, people from the general public sending letters of encouragement. Most of all, I thank my family and my parents who gave me the freedom to dream big and taught me strength of character to know I can do anything I set my mind and energy to. I guess the whole point of this is that without even just a single individual as an influence, the outcome would have been different. So I say a sincere and heartfelt thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tammy. Rock chalk. Excellent speech. How about that? Number one fan. I love it. Well, of our 13 inductees, we do have 3 that we'll be honoring posthumously here tonight. Our next and first of that variety is Gene Bissell. And this is not a new thing for the Bissell family when it comes to Hall of Fame inductions. Gene is actually a 5-time Hall of Famer. And while this one may be amongst the family's favorites, certainly he has been well decorated over the course of an illustrious career. Gene was born in Ohio. He was a 3-sport athlete in college. He began coaching as an assistant coach at Kansas Wesleyan way back in 1950. He went on to serve as head coach and athletic director at KWU from 1952 all the way until 1978. 4 times over, he was honored as the KCAC Coach of the Year, and he won 4 KCAC football championships. He also coached track, tennis, golf, and was an assistant in basketball at Kansas Wesleyan as well. He's the namesake, obviously, on Bissell Field at KWU. That happened in 1994. And as I referenced, 4 other Hall of Fames, including the NAIA Hall of Fame that he's been inducted into prior to tonight. We honor him posthumously and welcome to the stage his daughter, Nancy Terhune, and his son, Mark Bissell.
Presentation of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from
It's all right here at Kansas Star Casino and Hotel, I-35, exit 33, Mulvane, Kansas.
Programming on Smoky Hill Public Television is made possible in part by an underwriting grant from Nextech, providing the area with top-notch broadband, business technology, and advertising solutions. Nextech proudly supports public broadcasting and all of its ventures impacting the economic growth of rural communities.
We are extremely excited for Cameron Wembley.
He was an outstanding athlete for his 4 years in high school, ran track, played basketball, but football was where he shined.
He was a true student athlete. What he does for his community here in Wichita is extremely amazing. We are extremely excited for your induction of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame.
His character makes him not just a Hall of Fame athlete, but a Hall of Fame person.
Cameron, we are truly WPS proud of all your accomplishments. Congratulations.
Mike, on behalf of Wichita Public Schools and your alma mater, Wichita Heights High School, we'd like to congratulate you on your induction into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Mike continues to give back to the community. He's made his home here in Wichita. He's raising his family here in Wichita and is now the pitching coach at Wichita State University.
Mike, congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. We looked up to you here as players and coaches for a long time. Thank you for being an inspiration to the Heights Falcons and all those kids across the USD 259.
Up next, number 3 on our list of 13 Hall of Fame inductees of 2019 is a legendary coach who was born in Michigan, but he's a Kansas icon, Bob Chipman. He won 2 letters in basketball at K-State under fellow Kansas Sports Hall of Fame inductee Jack Hartman after 2 years spent at Mott Junior College. He was part of 2 Elite 8 teams for the Wildcats in 1972 and 1973. He began as an assistant coach at Washburn before becoming the head coach in 1979, and you all know what happened from there. 38 incredible seasons, winning over 800 games, an exact record of 808 and 352, one of just 25 college coaches with 800-plus wins. He led Washburn to the 1987 NAIA National Championship and the NCAA Division II runner-up finish in 2001. 3 times over, he was the MIAA Coach of the Year. He wound up coaching 23 All-Americans in his 38 seasons as an Ichabod. He, of course, is the namesake for Bob Chipman Court at Washburn. One of my personal heroes growing up. He called me Haynes. It's my great tribute and pleasure to get to honor you here tonight, Coach. Come on up. Bob Chipman, a Washburn Hall of Famer, and tonight, a Kansas Sports Hall of Famer.
Brian, not to burst your bubble, but we had 4 weeks of camp, and Hayne was there that first week. And that first week, everybody, coaches, you know that, everybody wins an award. So everybody was co-MVP that first week, so we could get him back. So, no, honestly, one of the great broadcasters, I think, one of the great young broadcasters in the country, Brian Haney. It's such an honor to have you introduce me. What a great honor. I mean, what a tremendous honor this is. I mean, just so grateful to everybody here, obviously to the board, all the people that voted, but it's one of the great honors of my life. And I think one of the reasons is the people sitting over there at those three tables, all the people that have been so special to me. But, it's just something I will always cherish. It started back second grade, picked up that basketball in Flint, Michigan, started dribbling it, had a passion, never gave it up. Drew me to K-State, was very lucky to play on two unbelievable teams that, what's crazy about those championship teams is we still get together after 45 years. I still got teammates here right now. Lon Kruger, Gene McVeigh, Jim Molinari are here. I mean, it's such a special group. I think Lonnie's gotten us together. It's probably the reason Lonnie does a lot of it, but we've gotten together 3 times in the last 5 years. But, I've always, then my dream job, Washburn University, wow, at age 26, and always, the reason was a dream job. I could always recruit and get high character kids, unbelievable kids, and I always lined up thinking I could win a championship, oftentimes a national championship, and I could always include my family. That's a dream to me. Obviously, like Haynes said, who I nicknamed, had a lot of help. Just a lot of help. And started with a great coaching staff. I got some coaches that are here tonight. Thank you guys. I always looked, Coach Hartman said, get somebody that's loyal. So I got some coaches over there that were extremely loyal. They also had a great feel for the game of basketball, a great passion. I see Ron McHenry, Torrey Head, Dave Brown, incredible coaches. They're still coaching today, so thank you guys. Couldn't have done it without you. You kept me from getting a lot of technical fouls, too, over the years, so I appreciate that. I don't know how many, that would have probably definitely been a state record. But players, we all know that it doesn't happen without players. I think maybe one of the great recruiters of all time at Division II basketball ever. I've got 2 Hall of Famers, Gary Carrier, who played for me, and Tom Meyer, who will be inducted, so that's pretty good recruiting. But also, one thing I've got kind of a feather in my cap that I don't think any other coach in America can say is I recruited our current U.S. Open golf champion, Gary Woodland. I talked him into playing basketball at Washburn University for 1 year. Now, no other coach can claim that recruiting. Another player that needs to be mentioned that's here is Dave Nelson. I was pretty lucky when I first got the job, really didn't know what I was doing, scared to death. Dave Nelson, I couldn't believe it. I asked him to come to Washburn. He said yes, but he ended up being the toughest kid I've ever had. He would just run through the wall, and he was tough. He was foul you. He leads the school all time in fouls. And then Gary Carrier, I stumbled into this guy from Council Grove that averaged 24 a game. So, those were my first 2 recruits. So obviously, it was a great start with those guys. Just wanted to mention. And there was always that, hey, could Tommy Meyer, who we introduced, and could they play? Well, that team beat Oklahoma State 1 year. Gary had 24 and 8. Tommy had 22 and 10 that particular game. So I don't know if they could play Division I, but that night, thank you guys, you played Division I. So the players were incredible. Just at Washburn, the final game had over 100 players come out. And that's what it's all about. Guys that are now so successful in the community, and that meant everything to me. But I got to thank the players. Obviously, great players, very blessed to have them. Family is pretty special. That's probably why it's my dream job ever. It started that way, it ended that way. Kelsey, my daughter, was born the first day of practice. We had a late night. Dick Vitale, believe it or not, after our national championship game the next year, we had a late night with Dick Vitale. Kelsey was born first day of practice that day. Bobby, my son, born the last day of a season. That wasn't quite as happy a time, Bobby, but we just lost a tough one down to Southwest Baptist, Bobby. And I proposed to Carol at an athletic banquet. I said something really cool. I was like right now, I would say Nick's. I said something like, Carol and I are currently negotiating a lifetime no-cut contract. So they told me after the speech was over that I proposed to her. So anyway, it was the best thing I ever did. But Kelsey, she's my rock. I mean, she's always been there. When your daughter thinks your dad can do no wrong, and she thinks I'm extra special, it doesn't get better than that. She's married to a great guy, Nick. Love you, Nick. And they got twin boys. So Kelsey said to me, she said, when I retired, she happened to be pregnant with twin boys, and this is how she told me. She said, Dad, your coaching career's not over yet. We got twin boys coming for you. So I've been pretty busy with those guys. It's been a lot of fun. What's really cool, I'm so involved with their life. Thank you for including me in on your life, Kelsey. You've been so special. Bobby played for me, coached with me, my best friend. I don't know, I just can't believe he's so successful. He's obviously didn't follow in his dad's footsteps. I mean, he's a lawyer in LA right now. He's got mom's brain, thank goodness. But he's big event coming. He's getting married to the beautiful Casey, soon to be Casey Chipman. Bobby and Casey get married in Cabo next week. So pretty special times for the Chipman, and can't wait to, and again, so much fun through the years, Bobby, and you keep including me in today with everything you're doing. It means so much to Mom and I. Finally, Carol, love of my life. Couldn't have done it without you. You're a Hall of Famer. And I just, on behalf of the Kansas State Hall of Fame, Carol and I and the family would like to accept this unbelievable award. It really means so much to me and our family. Thank you so much.
Well, Coach Chip referenced Dick Vitale in his acceptance speech, and there's only two people that Dick Vitale ever gave a standing ovation to. One was the Admiral, David Robinson. The other was our next Hall of Fame inductee, Nick Collison. Nick was born in Iowa, where he was a McDonald's All-American prior to signing with Roy Williams at the University of Kansas, where he would spend 4 seasons and culminate his career with back-to-back Final Fours and finishing as a 2003 Consensus Collegiate All-American. Twice over, he was All Big 12 Conference, and in 2003, as I referenced earlier, he was the NABC's pick for National Player of the Year and the 2003 Big 12 Male Athlete of the Year, not just for men's basketball, but all sports across the board. He ended his KU career as the Big 12 Conference leader in scoring and rebounds, and to this day, he's our number 2 scorer, second only to Danny Manning, and our number 3 rebounder all time in the history of Kansas basketball. He made 2 trips to the Final Four, Atlanta in 2002 and New Orleans in 2003, wound up playing 14 seasons in the NBA, all with the same organization, the Seattle Supersonics turned Oklahoma City Thunder. And because of his longevity and the legend that he was with OKC, just like at Kansas, his number hangs in the rafters, both in Allen Fieldhouse and down in OKC as well. Now that is legendary status. Put your hands together for my original broadcast partner and one of the all-time greats to ever wear the crimson and blue, Nick Collison.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. A lot of people don't know this. Bob Chipman played a big role in my life too. He does camps, or he did camps all over Kansas, and when I was in college for money, the only thing I was qualified to do was do basketball camps. And on the sad day when my 1991 Dodge Caravan died, the transmission went out. I had enough money from Bob's camps to buy a new car, so that was big, important for me. but what a legend, and I want to first start to by congratulate all the other inductees. A lot of very impressive people. We had a small amount of time together. I really enjoyed getting to know some of you, and I'd like to thank the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame for inducting me. It's an incredible honor. Kansas will always have a very special place in my heart. I came here as a young kid, and you know, I was very excited. I didn't know what to expect, and I worked incredibly hard, but I had so much support from people here, coaches, teammates. Wayne Simeon's here tonight, one of my favorite teammates all time, and I was able to learn a lot and go through some struggles and learn how to take responsibility and to just go and do the work every day. And for me, that was incredible training for being able to build an NBA career and play for. I was in the league 15 years. I was hurt for one, so he was right for 14. But you know, when I think about my career, I'm really just so thankful. You know, I have an incredible family that is supportive. My folks would drive to games twice a week down here sometimes, a 5-hour drive from Iowa. My brother and sister, my poor kid brother, would get drugged to all the games. Now he's coaching at my old high school. We just have such a great supportive family. And you know, for me, it was unconditional love at all times. I never had to worry about that. And I realize now as an adult how important that was to me. You know, I have a 13-year-old daughter I'm incredibly proud of. We're here in Kansas. She's in school in Leawood. And my beautiful fiance is here. 2 weeks ago, she said yes. So that's why I'm most fortunate. But like I said, I've just been blessed with incredible teammates, coaches, strength coaches, trainers. There's so many people in my life. My 9th grade coach, Randy Fiskus. There's so many people in my life that supported me and you know, allowed me to have this incredible run. And I'm very thankful. And you know, I'm very appreciative. So thank you.
All right, back to the Wildcats we go. Our next Hall of Fame inductee was born in Nebraska. She graduated high school in Texas. She went to K-State, where she became a first-team All-American in volleyball in 2003 and the Big 12 Player of the Year in 2003. Between Nick's accomplishments and Lauren's accomplishments, I'd say the state of Kansas dominated the Big 12 that year in individual accolades. She was a 2-time Big 12 Conference selection, a 3-time academic All-Big 12 selection. She had 2 triple-triple seasons and remains in the top 10 in KSU history in kills, hitting percentage, and assists. She led the Wildcats to a Sweet 16 appearance in that same 2003 season, and later went on into the Kansas State Athletics Hall of Fame in 2013. That was 6 years ago in the Wildcat Hall of Fame. Tonight she goes in the Kansas State Sports Hall of Fame. Let's do it right now, right here. Give it up for Lauren Goehring Kost.
Well, thanks. First thing, I got up here without tripping in my heels, so that's an accomplishment too. Thank you. Anybody that has kids and hasn't worn heels for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I am just beyond honored to be here tonight. I think it's incredible to have played what seems like 100 years ago and to keep getting recognized for something that I just loved to do. I just loved playing volleyball. I loved being a Wildcat. And I just got really lucky, I think, sometimes. I mean, I worked hard, but I feel like everything aligned. I had great coaches. I had great teammates that made me look really good. So, you know, huge thank you to those guys. What's also incredibly special is tonight, the team I get to pass on my love of volleyball to high school players in Austin, Minnesota, and they surprised me tonight. And so my entire varsity team is here, which is amazing. So thank you. they're incredible women, young women, and I'm excited to see what their future holds for them. And my husband, who's very supportive of all that I do. And Coach Chipman, you know, I didn't realize what it took of a family to be a coach, and it takes a lot. So your family, all those 800 wins, they were a part of that, a huge part of that. And so, you know, just the time it takes. And so a really special thank you to all of the coaches I've had through my entire career, from when I was little, because you still have to plan when they're little, probably more so, and to when I was, you know, maybe all grown up at K-State, if you will. But I just very, very humbled, and I think the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. And I always had to say the state of Kansas, because I didn't want anyone to confuse it with Kansas University. Just kidding, I cheer for the Jayhawks from playing anybody outside the Big 12. So thank you so much, and congratulations to everyone else. And I really don't know if I'm good enough to be in this class, but I appreciate it, and I am honored to be here and glad I got to sneak in. So thank you very much.
Presentation of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from
It's all right here at Kansas Star Casino and Hotel, I-35, exit 33, Mulvane, Kansas.
It's more than entertainment. It's education, inspiration, and enlightenment about your community and the world surrounding it. Help support the television that supports you and the world you live in. Become a member of Smoky Hills Public Television. As a sustaining member, you choose the amount you want to give each month from your checking account or credit card. Sustaining membership starts at $5 a month and includes a membership to Passport, which provides access to an extensive library of on-demand PBS programs. Please call or go online and become a sustaining member today.
Hayden Catholic High School in Topeka would like to congratulate Tom Meyer on being inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations on your success on and off the basketball court.
Back to the Ballers we go. Our next Hall of Fame inductee is Scott Hastings. Born in Independence, an all-state basketball selection that led Independence to state championship status in 1978. He was a four-year letterman at the University of Arkansas for fellow Kansas Sports Hall of Fame inductee Eddie Sutton. Twice over, he was an All-American in 1981 and 1982. Three times over, he was All-Southwest Conference as a Razorback. He finished his career ranked second in points, and he also was third in rebounds in school history there at Arkansas. Sounds very similar to Nick Collison. Played 11 seasons in the NBA, did Scott, including an NBA championship won with the Detroit Pistons back in 1990. He's already gone into the University of Arkansas Hall of Honor back in 2005 and the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame in 2005 as well. Tonight, he goes into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Give it up for Scott Hastings.
I'm just glad I left my heels up in the room because I don't know if I'd have made that step. You know, Brian's sitting there coming out with all these pictures of camps and awards and stuff, and I'm thinking, gosh, he's got a picture of him and Nick, and I'm thinking, well, he ain't got a picture of me, but I bet his dad did. So just shows you're getting a little older. I won't take a lot of time. The cool thing about coming up here with these guys and gals and getting to meet everybody, one, Tammy, thank you finally for getting done today. Oof. Slowest autograph in the history of America. Just kidding. Is the word humility and humble has been said a lot, which is cool. And I've known Nick forever, and I was talking to Nick today, and I said, yeah, and I work now for the Denver Nuggets, and I call games. And I said, gosh, I've called your whole career. One that says I'm really old, but I mean, it also says he played a long time. But I don't think we got into this as coaches or volleyball players or swimmers or basketball players to sit up here at a dais like this someday and have you guys stare at us and say, God, I gotta pee, hurry up and get done. So it is humbling. And everybody who's come up and said that, it really is. When I think Jordan emailed me, I was wondering, I said, okay, I thought it was one of my boys, probably Bobby or Rob or somebody, Dan, who called, got a fake email and said, oh yeah, this is going on. And you say, okay, is that cool? Is that big? Well, then you look at the names and the lists, and Eddie Sutton, who I played for at the University of Arkansas, which I didn't go to K-State. I have a story. Bob helped me with another story today on that one. I didn't go to KU. Lafayette, you can tell that story. But you can't spell Arkansas without Kansas. Just throw that out there. I'll wrap this up. I got all my kids here, and that's cool. I've got 4 generations of my basketball development here. My brothers and sisters, we used to, God bless Nerf, and I hope whoever invented Nerf are billionaires sitting on Cabo, and Bob can run into them next week at the wedding. Because we sat there, we had a long hallway in our upstairs, and my dad's here, you remember. And we played basketball, and we were dunking on people and ramming people into walls, and even our sister would come out there, she'd get popped a couple times. I think she was 8 or 9 at the time. But that was my first development. My second development, and it goes back to a family friend who was next door neighbor across the street, and his name was Craig Knoll. And Craig and his brother Scott and his sister Carla. He always told me we'd play in this downslope basketball gym in the backyard, or not even gym, back in the backyard we all played in. Which, by the way, for all of you basketball players, could you not wait to get a brand new Voight basketball at Christmas every year? Remember, right? You know what I'm talking about. So Craig always told me it's Craig Knoll, N-U-L-L. So spell it if you're keeping track. He said, someday when you make it, you got to tell him you play in the NBA in Independence, Kansas. The NBA. I go, NBA? He goes, yeah, Knoll Basketball Association. So I'm finally paying you back, Craig. I finally told you I'd get that out. My 8th grade coach is here. Coach Schwatkins was just an amazing, amazing guy. They didn't have state championships or anything, but we were undefeated that year and won our little tournament. My high school coach, Cherry Hart, is here, who was just absolutely fabulous. We won, what did we lose? One game our senior year, lost one game that year to Parsons, who, by the way, we beat them by 40 the next time we played them, so we got a little revenge on that. And my teammates, Bobby and Dan, are here. We go out, and I don't know who said it earlier. I think it was Bob talked about guys and people that you've been with. And this is what high school basketball or high school athletics, college athletics, whatever, does for you. Is it gives friendships that last forever. We just got out of Colorado, 3 weeks ago, and for the last 15, 18 years or whatever, my high school teammates and Rob, we let Rob come up here, he was a class below us, and it just wasn't as cool a class as ours, so we let Rob kind of hang out with us a little bit. Right? Okay. But we still hang out, and we still tell stories. In fact, Bobby, my point guard that was on that 78 championship team, told me this year, he goes, if they'd had that 3-point line back when we played, you'd average 8 or 10 points less. And I said, yeah, but I'd average 12 or 15 more rebounds. So all those people here, they're amazing. Julia, thank you for here. Bob and Sue, just amazing. Bob Fairbanks, coach of Bethel, once gave me one of the greatest advices I've ever had. I'm playing at Independence, and I guess I'm being lazy, the only other thing I could say, but I was 6'9", everybody else was 5'9". And he goes, never play down to your competition. Never play down to your competition. And Bob and his brother Paul and the father and uncle of my best friend Dan over there gave me one of the greatest advice. So wrapping this saying all up, we couldn't be here as athletes without the great coaches, for all the positive things you've done, for the negative things that happen in our lives, because as great athletes will tell you, and I say that very reluctantly, We strive on that as well. So the time and effort that you women and men put into coaching, thank you. None of us as players would be up here without you guys and gals. And for all you players and everything else that done all this stuff, man, be humbled, because this is cool. And I'm going to get up with this, and I'll cry, and just one time, and I don't even know why I'm crying. One of my best, oldest friend in the world, Katie. And I said, okay, I'm not going to cry. And she goes, I wish your mom was here. And I went, okay, thanks. And so that brought it down. And of course, my granddaughter, Hazel, who's named after my grandmother, playing with my daughter. So don't judge me. Thank you so much. I am humbled and honored. And Bob, I beat you. I cried more than you did. So I'm the loser so far. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kansas Hall of Fame. Appreciate it.
Our next 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame inductee is another that we'll honor posthumously here tonight, Warren Jabali. Warren was born in Kansas City and went on to become a three-time Missouri Valley Conference player, all conference that is, at Wichita State, averaging a double-double as a sophomore and also as a senior for the Shockers. He finished his Wichita State career as the school leader in assists, as well as second in rebounds and fourth in scoring at the end of his WSU career. Went on to play 7 seasons in the ABA, did Warren, a 4-time ABA All-Star. In 1969, Jabali was the ABA Rookie of the Year. He's the namesake at the Kansas City, Missouri Central High School Gym, the Warren Jabali KC Central High School Gym. Other Hall of Fame inductions include the Wichita State Hall of Fame, that was back in 1985. And tonight we'll have Warren's grandson, Brandon Baker, come up as we enshrine him in the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame, Warren Jabali. In addition to his grandson, Brandon Baker, we also have his lovely daughter, Tu Jabali. So once again, Tu Jabali and Brandon Baker. All right, back to the Ichabods. Our next Hall of Fame inductee was born and raised in Topeka, became a superstar at Hayden and Washburn, Tom Meyer. He was a 2-time All-State selection in high school at Topeka Hayden and led them to back-to-back state championships. In fact, Tom was the first ever Mr. Basketball in the state of Kansas. He went on to be a 2-time All-American selection at Washburn as well, leading the Ichabods to the 1987 NAIA National Championship. He's one of only 2 players in school history to score 2,000 points and record 1,000 rebounds in a career. In 1997, he went into the Washburn Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight, he's a Kansas Sports Hall of Famer. Put your hands together for Ichabod Tom Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Haney, for that wonderful introduction. Well, just wow, like everybody's been saying, wow. You know, what a heck of a deal and an honor to be selected. I want to thank the committee for recognizing me for this award. Just truly grateful. And also congratulate my fellow inductees. To go in with this class, with this company, I'm lucky, I really am. I'm really fortunate to be here. I'd also like to thank my coaches and my teammates, a lot of them here today. Coach Meskey and his staff at Hayden, Coach Chipman and his staff at Washburn. A player couldn't ask for better coaches and teammates. I just consider myself one of the luckiest guys. One guy can't do it all, and a lot of credit goes to them. Torrey Head, Gary Carrier, Ron McHenry, great guys to play with. Not only great guys, great players, but great friends. And Coach, I don't know what to say. What a heck of a deal to get to enter this with you as one of the fellow members. All of us players, me especially, couldn't have asked for a better coach. and to go in with you at the same time, what an honor. So Coach, congratulations and thank you. I also would like to thank Hayden High School and Washburn University for the opportunity to do what I love to do, and that was play basketball. That opportunity gave me so many memories. Now, there's not a day that goes by, that somebody says something about my career in Topeka. I live in Topeka, so there's a lot of people know me. There's not a day that goes by where something's brought up or mentioned. We reminisce, talk about this, talk about big games, talk about a big shot I hit, the Oklahoma State game. Those are all really fabulous memories, and that's what this game has done for me. You get to sit and relive that every day, and it keeps me young. It keeps you young, it really does. But just really great times, teammates, friends and family. My folks are here tonight, Tom and Judy down here in the front table. Without them, their support, they went to all the games, traveled to all the games, friends that went. I grew up in Topeka, so I had a lot of friends. I played in my hometown at Washburn, so I had lots and lots of friends, lots of support, which made it that much more special. So a lot of the credit goes to them, all the friends and family and teammates. Like I said, one guy can't do it all. You got to have that help and support. And a very special thank you to a few guys sitting down here in the front table. My kids, Michael, Marcus, and Katie. A dad couldn't be more proud, more happier that you're here sharing today with me. I love you guys, and thanks for being here. Thank you.
Presentation of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from
Hayden Catholic High School in Topeka would like to congratulate Tom Meyer on being inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations on your success on and off the basketball court.
Programming on Smoky Hill Public Television is made possible in part by an underwriting grant from Nextech, providing the area with top-notch broadband, business technology, and advertising solutions. Nextech proudly supports public broadcasting and all of its ventures impacting the economic growth of rural communities.
It's more than entertainment. It's education, inspiration, and enlightenment about your community and the world surrounding it. Help support the television that supports you and the world you live in. Become a member of Smoky Hills Public Television. As a sustaining member, you choose the amount you want to give each month from your checking account or credit card. Sustaining membership starts at $5 a month and includes a membership to Passport, which provides access to an extensive library of on-demand PBS programs. Please call or go online and become a sustaining member today.
All right, back to the Shockers we go. Up next, an Ohio native. Well, he was born in Ohio, really raised in Wichita, though, and would go on to star not only at Wichita Heights, but also for Wichita State. Our 9th of 13 inductees tonight, Mike Pelfrey. He was a 3-year letterman at Wichita State, was Mike, a 2-time All-American selection, both in 2004 and 2005. He was a freshman All-American in 2003. Twice over, he was the Missouri Valley Conference Pitcher of the Year and was also the MVC Freshman of the Year. 3 times over, he was All-Conference and was also Academic All-Conference in 2004. As many of you know, in 2005, he would be a first-round draft pick of the New York Mets at the end of his great Shocker career. He went on to play a dozen seasons of Major League Baseball and wound up being named to the Missouri Valley Conference All-Centennial Team in 2007. Hall of Fame inductions are nothing new to Mike. This is his 4th Hall of Fame induction tonight. He's in the Shocker Athletics Hall of Fame back in 2012, the Wichita Sports Hall of Fame in 2018, and earlier this year winning the Kansas Baseball Hall of Fame. Tonight, he goes in our statewide Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Give it up for Mike Pelfrey.
That was going to get embarrassing. I slipped right there. That wouldn't have been a good start. So, It's a pretty cool event. I'd like to start by thanking the people at the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame, Jordan Poland for that call in May, telling me about the induction, the Kansas Star, and obviously all the sponsors and all the people that put this event together. I'm extremely honored and extremely humbled to be up here accepting this award. You know, like all the other, past inductees and the new inductees, tonight, I've been blessed. I was given a gift from the man above. And with this gift, I always strive to never take anything for granted, never be complacent. I'm a firm believer that you get out of it what you put into it. And there's no substitute for hard work. And my baseball career was filled with a lot of positives, was filled with a lot of negatives. There was a lot of sweat that went into it, a lot of tears. But at the end of the day, I got to play a kid's game for a living. And it's obviously made me, it changed my life, it changed my family's life, and I can extremely grateful forever. I'm not going to make my wife and kids stand up because they'll be embarrassed, and I'll have to hear about that later. And all the men know happy wife, happy life, so I'll let you guys stay seated. I couldn't have achieved anything without the support and guidance of a lot of good teammates and a lot of good coaches. I'd like to thank my coaches at Wichita Heights High School, which is Joe Auer, Matt Klusner, and Jeff Topping. And I would like to thank the coaches at Wichita State. And the kid growing up in Wichita State was the place to be. And now I get the opportunity to come back now. I'm currently the pitching coach. We had a rough night last night, but it's part of the process. The head coach, new head coach of the Shockers, Eric Wedge out there, and Lauren Hibbs. Get to enjoy every day coming to work, and those guys make it fun for me, so I appreciate that. Lottie Talbot, that's our secretary. She actually runs the office like most women, so thank you as well. But I'd like to give a shout out to Wichita State. So got to play for Jim Thomas, got to play for Gene Stevenson, which is obviously a legendary college baseball coach. Got to play for Brent Kimmons, which is a pitching coach. And giving a shout out to him, he was the best pitching coach in the country in college baseball. He had a way to make an 18-year-old kid feel like he was a world beater, like he could do anything on the mound. And obviously, I grew up a lot and really matured in college. He's also been a great mentor and a great asset for me as a coach, as a pitching coach, and getting into my coaching career. And hopefully, I can have the same impact on these kids now that you had on me. So I appreciate that. Behind every good player is a strong support system. I'd first like to thank my parents. They always pushed me in the right direction, and believe me, I got offline a lot, but they always kept me on track. They always shelled out money, travel ball stuff. It's not like it is now, but it was pretty expensive, growing up. They always gave me the opportunity to be seen at certain tournaments and showcases. I remember a time growing up when my mom worked 3 jobs, so my brothers and I could have everything we need and everything that we wanted. My mom was also my toughest critic. She's a huge baseball fan, and I grew up always having a voicemail waiting for me after bad games. And this voicemail had a lot of choice words in it, a lot of them that I can't say. So finally, I had to call her one day and tell her that I heard it from 50,000 people tonight. I don't need to hear it from 50,001. So I asked her if she could not, send me those voicemails anymore. And at that time I was 28 and I was on my 7th year in the big leagues, and she was still sending them. So, but she listened, and she didn't make it 50,001. So Mom, I appreciate that. Always pushing me to be the best that I can be. And I'll always be eternal grateful for that. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife, Angela. I married a good woman, a great wife, and an even better mother. She made it so, when I was gone, I never had to worry about anything. I knew that she was at home taking care of, the bills and all that stuff, and taking care of the kids. And that allowed me to focus on baseball. So thank you for allowing me to always live my dream. And you were the rock behind the scenes, And everywhere we go, she's known as Mrs. Pelfrey instead of Angela. So I know that can be extremely tough, but thank you. Mike's wife, she just said, so maybe that's another one. Mrs. Pelfrey, Mike's wife. So thank you for everything. Ever since I've been home, I know we run into people, and she's like, they always tell her, hey, I bet you that you're happy that Mike's home, and she says, yes, the fourth child's home. So me being home, her job has actually probably gotten harder, but I just want to say thank you. And lastly, I want to thank everybody, for coming, and I want to congratulate all the other inductees. And I'm glad we got to, we get to share this special evening tonight. So thank you.
From one ace pitcher to another, up next we have Nate Robertson, a Maize native. He set the state record for career ERA in high school and led the Eagles to a state runner-up finish back in 1993. He was the Kansas High School Pitcher of the Year in 1995. From there, he would go on to a great career at Wichita State, in which he was a 3-year letterman, twice over All-Missouri Valley Conference, and would go on to be drafted in the 5th round of the MLB draft in 1999. He played 9 professional seasons. He won 3 NBC tournaments. He's now part owner, and has been since 2008, of the Wichita Wingnuts organization. Other Hall of Fames for Nate include the El Dorado Baseball Hall of Fame back in 2004, and also the Kansas Baseball Hall of Fame 3 years ago in 2016. Tonight, he's in the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Give it up for Wichita State Shocker, Nate Robertson.
So first of all, yes, thank you, Kansas Star, Jeff, Justin, you guys are first class all the time. We've done some events in the past. Thank you to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame for considering my name. I'm very honored, and to the other inductees and your families, congratulations. So 2 things, Tammy brought one up and Scott brought one up. The 2 words that came to my mind when I would come up here and speak was being grateful and the humility. And so I'm going to spend my time just standing up here knowing that the journey that I had in my life was, I didn't get there on my own. And there's many people in this room tonight that were very much part of that. So to start with is my wife, Kristen, 16 years of marriage, standing by my side, putting up with me, and giving me 3 amazing kids. I love you and I thank you so much. And one of those kids, we left our 2 younger daughters home because looks like the Pelfreys brought theirs. Good job, they're well behaved. We thought it'd be a little less stressful. But I got Wyatt here. Wyatt, I couldn't be more proud to be your father and to have you as my son. I love you, boy. My parents, Dick and Christy, that are here tonight, for never making, and I'm an emotional guy. Scott, where you at, buddy? I might fall apart. For never making me or my brothers ever feel like we needed anything, coming from a very, very humble beginning. But you guys made us feel like we had everything, and I appreciate that. Mom, for being Mama Bear. If you guys ever crossed any of my brothers and myself, that's the person you avoid right there. And Dad, not for just being the greatest coach that I've ever had, not because of the game of baseball, but the life lessons that you've taught me along the way, me and my brothers. My brothers, Josh, Luke, and Matt, and your wives are here tonight, Monica, and Shauna and Danielle. Thank you guys, love you guys for coming here. My brothers, for always being there by my side, for always wanting what was best for each and every one of us. That's what we always believed in each other, and we wanted what was best for each other. And there can't be a greater set of brothers that a guy could ever have. Even when we mentioned the Wingnuts, Josh was the GM president, I was owner, Luke was pitching coach, and my brother Matt was a pitcher, all on the same team. And we actually survived that, and that was amazing. But what great memories that we had together. So the coaches in the room tonight, I mean, I couldn't have done it without Gene Stevenson. I couldn't have done it without Brent Kimnitz, the best pitching coach in the country. I couldn't have done it without Brad Holman, who made me a better man. Well, with what I was dealing with then, I was at the end of the career, so I was throwing the slop, but you showed me how to survive a little bit. But just seeing teammates like Martin Neubauer, seeing a guy like Abel Nieves that's in here tonight, seeing a guy that, Eric Wedge, a hero that I looked up to, all you guys inspired me to be who I am today. And for that, I'm extremely, extremely grateful. So the message of humility. I'm going to end with a funny story because I like making fun of myself. But I got traded to Detroit. In my first year there in 2003, we had the second worst baseball team in the history of the game. We lost 119 games, and I was part of that. So I'm giving you a little bit of a backdrop. So 2004, I led the starting pitchers in wins, and then in 2005, I had the best ERA amongst the stars and most quality starts. So in my biased opinion, Detroit is the best sports town in America. I believe that. They follow their players, they follow their teams, good or bad. They can go 0-16 like the Lions did years ago, and you still see 55, 60,000 fans coming to a ball game. So with that being said, I was at an award ceremony. I was there, I lived there year round, and I was accepting an award on behalf of the Tigers. So we get done, I go down, we're valet, I get my ticket up, and I see a couple guys come out, and they're stumbling around. I think they had a few cocktails. So they look over and they get that, all the athletes, when you're in a market, a sports market, when you get that look, when they recognize you, so they kind of stare at you like you're a zoo animal. So he's looking over at me, and I said, okay, he knows who I am. He's gonna come over here and want to talk baseball. So this is the ego thing, right? And this is 2005, 2 years removed from 2003. So he walks up to me and he goes, hey, aren't you with the Tigers? I said, yeah, I was up there with the Tigers. So I'm thinking, okay, now he knows who I am. He calls his buddy Mike. I'll never forget Mike. So Mike comes over, stumbling over, and he said, hey, this guy was with the Tigers. I'm thinking, okay, this guy's got a name, so you don't know me. And so Mike, he puts his hand on, he's like, well, hey, I'm Mike. Well, I said, I'm Nate Robertson, nice to meet you. So I figured dropping my name was gonna be now he knows who I am. He goes, nice to meet you, Dave. So, okay. So that was like a little hit to the ego. So we're talking about being humble, humility, right? So it's kind of an awkward moment. I said, no, it's Nate. My name's Nate. And he's like, oh, sorry, Nate. So he kind of looks around and he goes, well, Nate, he goes, when did you retire? And this is 2000, this is 14 years ago. I don't think I look old now. So I didn't think I looked like a has-been, right? The has-beens we were talking about. I said, no, Mike, I actually play on the team. They give me a uniform and everything. It's got my name on the back. Come on out to the ballpark, Mike. So I'm kind of fired up a little bit now. And I'm like, where's my car at? Valet, let's go. Let's get out of this situation. So Mike, instead of just walking off, he's messed up. He goes, well, Nate, I wish we had you 2 years ago for that 2003 team. And I said, that was it. So I was like, Mike, you did, man, okay? We're done, I'm not walking off. So with that being said, honored to be here tonight. Grateful and very humbled to be part of this. Enjoy the evening, and thank you very much.
Presentation of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from
Mike. On behalf of Wichita Public Schools and your alma mater, Wichita Heights High School, we'd like to congratulate you on your induction into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Mike continues to give back to the community. He's made his home here in Wichita. He's raising his family here in Wichita and is now the pitching coach at Wichita State University.
Mike, congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. We looked up to you here as players and coaches for a long time. Thank you for being an inspiration to the Heights Falcons and all those kids across the USD 259.
Programming on Smoky Hill Public Television is made possible in part by an underwriting grant from Nextech, providing the area with top-notch broadband, business technology, and advertising solutions. Next Tech proudly supports public broadcasting and all of its ventures impacting the economic growth of rural communities.
We are extremely excited for Cameron Wembley.
He was an outstanding athlete for his 4 years in high school, ran track, played basketball, but football was where he shined.
He was a true student athlete. What he does for his community here in Wichita is extremely amazing. We are extremely excited for your induction of the 2019 Kansas Sports Hall of Fame.
His character makes him not just a Hall of Fame athlete, but a Hall of Fame person.
Cameron, we are truly WPS proud of all your accomplishments. Congratulations.
It's all right here at Kansas Star Casino and Hotel, I-35, exit 33, Mulvane, Kansas.
All right, you guys, 3 more inductees to go. And the first of our final 3 is the third and final that we'll honor posthumously here tonight, Fred Slaughter. Fred was born in Topeka, where he was a state champion sprinter in 1959 at his alma mater of Topeka High. He led the Trojans to a state runner-up finish in basketball in 1958. He was a 3-year letterman in basketball at UCLA under the great John Wooden and was the 1961 UCLA freshman MVP. He led the Bruins to the first NCAA championship under Coach Wooden in 1964 and had a perfect record of 30-0 that year. He wound up UCLA class president as a senior. He worked as a professional sports agent and lawyer following his playing career. Other Hall of Fames include the UCLA Athletic Hall of Fame back in 2004, the Topeka-Shawnee County Sports Council Hall of Fame in 2008, and the Topeka High School Hall of Fame in 2015. Tonight, please put your hands together for Fred Slaughter. Fred's family could not be here with us tonight, but we will be sending his plaque to his family, so certainly celebrate with them, even though they couldn't be here. All right, moving on. Roy Turner is up next. Born in England, Roy moved to the U.S. to play professional soccer in 1967. He was a member of the U.S. national team. Head coach of the Wichita Wings indoor soccer team from '79 until 1986, and then from 1990 to 1994. He won the 1981 MISL Western Division Championship and won 254 games as a coach. He coached 45 players who played for national teams, 12 English Premier League players. How about that? He served as the GM and president of the Wichita Wings. He was named the tournament director for the Wichita Open Golf Tournament in 1999 as well. Other Sports Hall of Fames include the Wichita Sports Hall of Fame back in 2009. Put your hands together for Roy Turner.
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations to the other members of the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame class for 2019. It is indeed an honor to be part of this class. Thank you also to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame for your recognition of both myself and soccer with this induction. I represent an amazing group of people who I will recognize shortly that have been instrumental towards this award. A brief history about the Wichita Wings. 40 years ago, I came to a community which very few people knew anything about soccer. Our original ownership group had just entered the major indoor soccer league. Within 2 years, the league would become the only major professional soccer league in North America. There was no outdoor soccer league. We were it. Trust me, recruiting in the first year was very difficult, to say the least. I recruited from all over the world to a little place called Wichita. Let me think. LA, Chicago, New York, Wichita? A true David and Goliath. a real underdog situation. In our second year, I learned if I could bring prospective players to visit Wichita and show them the passion the community had for the team, I had a chance. It worked. I was able to recruit very talented players who joined from all over. In spite of cultural and language barriers, they soon shared the passion that was the Wichita Wings. Our quality of play was exceptional. And representing those players tonight, 3 guys I'd like to introduce. From Northern Ireland, by the way, represented his own country many times at the international level, Victor Morland. Kevin Cooley from England, great player and a great, great friend. Looking back, maybe the only player to understand my accent in those days, because we were both born and raised in Liverpool, England. Kim Runfred from Denmark, recently voted the best player in the Wings history. Kim was the best signing of my coaching career. He was 20 when he came to Wichita. 40 years later, the rocket is still rocking. The players are still today household names in Wichita, but I must admit, mostly in nursing homes. The players' talent, not to mention their winning record, created a buzz, not just in Wichita, but around the league. With the team in place, Wichita responded with sellout crowds that made the Coliseum our fortress. My finest accomplishment, aside from keeping the Wings alive for 18 years, was a great team record between 1980 and 1986, while I operated with the lowest budget in the smallest market in the league. I'm also proud in those days that I never cut a player once during the season when it was started. It was a price I was willing to pay and accept for Wichita and the state of Kansas to have a major league franchise. I would like to recognize some of those people tonight that made it possible. My family. Thanks to my family for the wonderful support during those wonderful years. I know I was absent a lot. Welcome my son and friend tonight, Camden and Gabrielle. Thank you, babe. Owners. Now you don't have to clap. For those of you guys in sports know that without owners, especially in Wichita, a team would never have been possible. And they are the reason we are able to celebrate tonight. I want to recognize the Carney family, the Rolfe family, the Olivers, and so many more. Representing the owners tonight is Jennifer Bitt, daughter of Bill and Marilyn Oliver. Thank you so much for coming, Jen, and thank you to the owners for all they did. I would also like to thank the amazing Wings staff throughout the years. People who took so much pride in the Wings. Tonight, I would ask your prayers, though, for Steve Shard, former Wings staff member, who started his great sports career in Wichita with us. He's a very sick person tonight in Wesley, and I would ask you keep him in his thoughts. Also, Bill Kenling, great friend, great leader. When Bill was in charge, I never had a contract with the Wings organization. Bill wrote stuff on a napkin, that was it. Such was our trust in each other. Thank you, Bill. You influenced me more than ever. I'm forever grateful. Debbie Birch joined the Wings in '88. More about Debbie in a minute. The Orange Army, the amazing people in Wichita, Kansas, their support and passion was the fuel that motivated all of us. My personalized license plate back then was #1 fans. No explanation necessary. A personal thank you to my friend, Sammy Lane. We met when he joined the Wings team 33 years ago. Thank you, bud. You've always been a great friend and cheerleader throughout. Thank you. While I realize tonight's award is primarily for my time at the Wichita Wings, I would be amiss not to recognize another amazing staff sitting at table 25 tonight. These people have helped me over the last 20 years put together a PGA Tour event, the Wichita Open, that is considered the #1 event on the Korn Ferry Tour. Included in this group, I want to recognize Randy and Sue for all you have done to make the Wichita Open what it is today. What you both do for our youth of our community is absolutely amazing. Last but not least, a special person who has been my assistant and friend for over 30 years with the Wings and the Wichita Open, Debbie Birch. It would be impossible to have done it all without you. Thank you. In closing, we all knew it was special then, but looking back, it was far more special than ever realized. For myself and others, it was the best days of our lives. I accept this honor with honor and pride. I have represented sports in this great city for 40 years. It's been one hell of a journey. Thank you.
Let's close it down with one of Wichita's own, Cameron Wembley. A high school All-American at Wichita Northwest, Cameron would go on to become a 4-year letter winner at Florida State. He was an All-ACC selection as a senior, putting him on a path to be a 2006 NFL first-round draft pick by the Cleveland Browns. He would go on to play 9 professional seasons with the Browns, the Titans, and the Raiders. Since then, he's been inducted into the Wichita Sports Hall of Fame in 2017. Tonight, he goes in the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Put your hands together for our 13th and final inductee tonight, Cameron Wembley.
Let's see, I'm gonna go electronic here for one moment, the millennial thing. Let's see. Okay, first and foremost, I'm honored to be here, and I would like to thank God for this opportunity to stand before you today. This moment's not possible without him, so I give him all the praise, the honor, and the glory. I would also like to say thanks to the Kansas Sport Hall of Fame for the nomination and the induction into the Hall of Fame. I would also like to thank my friends, my family, teachers, and coaches for the support throughout the years. I would also like to thank Coach O.B. Bohannon, which was my Little League coach, who is no longer with us, but he instilled so many of the things that when I started playing the sport, I still follow to this day. I would also like to thank Coach Moore, who's here today with his wife, Carolyn, for all of the instructions and the things that you instilled in me in high school and helped me with that transition to the college level and to play beyond college in the NFL. And thank you for all the many years of friendships and the games and going and watching and supporting. I would also like to thank all of my teammates for being with me and supporting me throughout the years. Congratulations also to the other inductees. I would like to say thanks to my father for all the valuable life lessons and also through coaching. Yeah, I played a lot of sports as an athlete, so it was really good to travel with my family. My brother's here as well, so we played on some teams together and we scrimmaged against each other. We would play baseball not that far from here where we grew up. And we also threw the football together. He was my receiver in high school at Northwest. I would also like to say thanks to my grandmother for being the glue for so many people in our family and bringing us together to be able to watch football games. And I really really appreciate that about the sport of football and sports in general, is that it brings people together from all over to really just, learn and to cherish one another and, spend time together. So that was definitely a blessing for us. I would also like to say thanks to my 3 daughters for being my biggest fans, regardless of whether I win or lose. They still love you, so you're still dad. So I really appreciate them for being there and supporting. I would also like to take time to recognize my mother, because without her, I wouldn't be here. So it's been a journey for us. We've been through a lot, and she's a really special woman to me in my life, and she's always been supportive and has always been in my corner. I would also like to just take time to just go through a little bit about how I got started. I started playing football in the 3rd grade with the Wichita Golden Bulldogs. I started playing center, and then I moved to quarterback. I went to Northwest High School and was able to play for the Grizzlies. And I love football out of all the sports that I played. And one day Coach Bowden comes to Wichita, Kansas, and he comes over to our house. He's sitting in the living room, and we had friends and a couple family members, our family and a couple friends who came by, and they just couldn't believe that he was here. So this game has been a huge blessing to be able to meet one of the greatest, if not the greatest coach of all times when it comes to football, and play for him at Florida State. Les Miles was not at KU yet. So I went down there, I played with Bobby Bowden, which was a great blessing. But my goal before I left, as a kid, one of my favorite movies was a Bruce Lee movie. And it was a point when he was leaving his hometown, and he said that his goal was to make a noise so loud or to be so great that people back home where he was from would hear and know that he had made it. So for me, it's been a journey, and to be recognized by the state that I come from is really huge for me and for my family as well. I also just like to take this time to just really reflect on a career that I think has been fulfilling. Everything didn't always go the way that I thought it would go. And then sometimes, after those losses, you don't get any phone calls, But it was very interesting to hear the story about the mom who gave you a call, right? So, but moms are special like that, and and my mom has been nothing but encouraging. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to stand in front of you all and to be recognized with such a great group of individuals. When I started playing, I didn't imagine that I would be up here. I didn't write a speech. I was kind of taking notes and different things, and I just kind of wanted to speak from the heart. And I'm just really appreciative for what the game has given me and what it will continue to give in the future. It's incredibly humbling, like I said, and I'm forever grateful and eternally grateful for the state of Kansas and all the lessons that I learned here. And I'm really just glad to go and represent this state and so many other opportunities that are coming up. And I'm really looking forward to building relationships with the inductees who are all inducted tonight, and really taking time to go through and learn the history of all of the other inductees in the Hall of Fame. I'm proud to work with the youth sports here through the Greater Wichita Sports Commission, and have befriended a gentleman by the name of Bob Hansen here who has definitely, taught me a lot. So hopefully I can just continue to give back at this point in my life. I think that's what the major thing is for me, and to really go into trying to be a Hall of Fame dad. So I thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it, and Congratulations to the other Hall of Famers, and thank you to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame.
Inductees, the members of the and Board of Trustees, directors, and members of the selection committee have deemed you worthy of induction into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. You now join 284 previously inducted members of this hallowed group. Through your participation in sports, you have brought pride and honor to yourself, your community, and the entire state of Kansas. You have gained the respect and admiration of Kansans, and your achievements both on and off the field of competition help build our state's lasting athletic heritage. To make certain the memory of your accomplishments endures as a lasting source of inspiration for future generations, the Board of Trustees and Directors now declare that you are officially inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
This has been a production of Smoky Hills Public Television, the Kansas Association of Broadcasters non-metro station of the year for 4 years running.